On a gray morning in January 2025, 17 inspectors general learned they had been dismissed, each within the same hour. Their offices were dark before noon, paper seals placed on doors where files on waste and abuse still sat unfinished. In the Homeland Security building, the IG's badge no longer opened the elevator to the secure floor. It seemed the nation had decided to turn off its own alarm clock. I remember that image because no republic that silences its watchmen rests easy. Something larger than politics had been touched that day, but most people did not yet see it coming. A few weeks later, the courts heard the case of Robert P. Storch et al. V. Pete Hegseth et al. 8 fired watchdogs accusing the government of breaking the very law that protected them. Judge Ana Reyes ruled that the president violated the Inspector General Act's notice rule, yet she could not order reinstatement. Picture the scene in the district courthouse, plain folders labeled with names once trusted to guard the guardrails themselves. At USAID, Paul Martin was dismissed one day after reporting on halted humanitarian aid. At DHS, computers denied access to databases once open to Oversight. At the Council of Inspectors General, the website oversight.gov, http://oversight.gov, went dark for want of funds. Even whistleblowers lost their channel of appeal. Why would any leader silence the very guardians who clear his name? That question reveals more than policy. It touches the bones of our Constitution. The framers knew that power, though necessary, bends toward comfort. So they built a design of tension, the president to act, Congress to watch, the courts to judge, and the people to hold all to account. When one branch consumes another's share, liberty thins like ice under too much weight. The inspectors general stand where those tensions meet. They belong to the executive, yet report to Congress. They serve under authority, yet answer to law. If they may be removed without reason or warning, then independence becomes permission, granted or taken at will. Without that independence, we have no lawful mirror by which government may see itself true. Wasn't this power once considered sacredly limited? After Watergate, when officials lied and records burned, Congress created these posts to guarantee that light could not be switched off so easily again. The Inspector General Act of 1978 said, "Let there be eyes within every agency, loyal eyes that look for truth." Later, the Securing Inspector General Independence Act of 2022 strengthened that promise. Both statutes recognize a principle older than any act, that honesty must serve authority, never serve it blind. Picture senators in a hearing room, Chuck Grassley, gray-haired and steady, reading the charter aloud as lights from cameras glint on the brass nameplates. Even there, the issue was not party. It was whether law still binds the powerful, or only the weak. From history's height, we can see the same contest play again. In 1981, President Reagan dismissed all sitting IGs on day one. Protests rose, and 5 returned. In 1935, the court decided Humphrey's Executor, teaching that removal power ends where independent review begins. In every age, presidents test the edge of their prerogative, and Congress must remind them that convenience is not constitution. If history repeats, who will warn us next time? The record shows that each time oversight falters, corruption follows as water flows downhill. Picture printers in the Treasury IG's office stopped mid-audit, pages half counting millions lost to fraud. Picture veterans at the VA whose claims linger while investigators pack their boxes. These are not abstractions. They are citizens' dollars, soldiers' needs, the nation's word kept or broken. Yet despair has no claim here, for at every such decline, Americans have raised it again. When the CG funds froze in 2025, voices from both parties lifted together. The lights on, oversight.gov, http://oversight.gov, blinked back on within weeks. A small act, but proof that conscience still whispers through the machinery of state. The harder truth is that law survives only by habit. Papers and statutes are worth nothing if the people grow numb to their violation. A president may tempt that numbness, but he cannot command it. Only the citizen's steady eye preserves the boundary between service and self-service. So what kind of eye must the citizen keep? First, a patient one, seeing beyond personalities to principle. The President holds the sword of execution. Congress holds the scale of accountability. Each must bear the other's weight. When either claims both sword and scale, the Republic tilts. Second, a willing one, ready to read before it reacts. Outrage burns fast, understanding stays warm. The nation's strength lies not in fury, but in the quiet refusal to accept wrong as normal. Third, a moral one, judging not by tribe but by truth. Think of the young analyst in the office of the Director of National Intelligence who reported a misused fund and found her complaint trapped between rival offices. Her courage, though unseen by crowds, dignifies the Republic more than 1,000 speeches. The presidency itself was not made weak by these restraints, it was made safe by them. Energy in the executive was the founders' wish, but they tied that energy to duty, not will. Washington knew it, Jefferson proclaimed it, Madison wrote it plain, that power is a servant, not a master. If our checks and balances often feel slow, that slowness is liberty's shield. Ask the nations that lost theirs how quickly a single man's impatience became every man's fear. The rule of law is a quiet thing, until it's gone. And yet beneath the dust of scandal lives a spark worth guarding. The same citizens who built this structure can mend it. Congress can restore funds, the courts can enforce causation before dismissal, and presidents, if wise, can welcome the comfort of honest audit. A faithful leader loses nothing by review. He gains the nation's enduring trust. I have seen many storms break upon this Constitution, and each has left it standing taller because the people would not crouch. Even now, amid confusion and fatigue, the law waits for our respect as the earth waits for light. Remember the picture of that locked door at Homeland Security, the paper seal still unbroken. That image ought to rest not in anger, but in reminder. For every door closed by impulse, another may open by reason. The measure of liberty is not how often power acts, but how carefully it answers when asked why. When citizens forget to ask, authority forgets to explain. Yet the remedy is near, closer than any court or edict. It begins in the simple habit of mind that asks, is this lawful or only useful? Picture a classroom in Des Moines where a civics teacher writes those words on the board as students study the Constitution's first article. That quiet lesson is as vital to the Republic as any verdict delivered in Washington. Still, I have faith that correction will come. Our institutions are slow, but they are not asleep. Judges read their clauses one line at a time, staff analysts trace the missing files, senators debate the next reform. Think of the Capitol dome at dusk, half in shadow, half in gold. Proof that even when light fades on one side, it rises on the other. This is the duty passed to you, to keep your reason when others trade it for passion, to examine before you follow, to defend law not because it flatters your cause, but because it guards your neighbor's right to oppose you. The Republic owes her endurance not to force, but to fairness remembered. And so the circle closes where it began. 17 doors sealed in haste now stand as 17 reminders. Behind each, a principle still waits to be let out again. The principle that no leader, however favored, walks above the rules that gave him his charge. In that truth lies the lasting strength of a free people. Hold to it with patience, question with respect, trust but verify. For freedom is not the absence of oversight, it is its fruit. The Republic can be saved. When the moment comes to choose between silence and honest witness, what will your answer be?